Peace, peace, y'all. Y'all coming in. Peace and blessings. Peace, peace. Peace, peace, y'all. Y'all see the title? See the title. Do y'all see the title? Do you guys agree with the title? And if you don't, feel free to come up and explain how Ethiopia isn't the biblical Israel. I'm gonna play a little old live that we've done in the past, so people can understand our point of view. People can understand why Ethiopia is the biblical Israel and the Middle East Israel was created to deceive the world. Created so they can have authority over the world, can have authority over history and the future history. So I'm gonna be playing this clip real soon. Can you believe now lions are a rare species to see? Due to war, they all migrated to Kenya. Oh, wow, okay. So there's not that many lions in Ethiopia? Is that what you're saying? As much? We now walk and have hyenas as pets. Okay. All right, y'all. See now. Peace and blessings to y'all coming in.
So like I said, y'all, we going to the Middle East, but not East Africa. This is where we should be going, y'all. Slide over. You see that arrow? We should be going to East Africa. They got us going to the Middle East. Clever, clever, clever. Clever, clever, clever. So again, y'all, this is why we have the title up here. Just to bring awareness to the truth, the originality of these things, and to uplift the so-called black man and black woman, where even our ancestors in the world have put us down. You know, because as a group of people, we must be lifted up so we can stop.
Yeah, when we talk about Ethiopia, we talk about the ancient Abyssinia, you know, that included Somalia, Djibouti, Eritrea. We're not talking about the modern day Ethiopia, if some people are confused.
The self-hate. There's a lot of self-hate in our communities, in our growing up, in our homes, in our relationships.
We gotta guess, y'all. Peace, peace to the guests. Your mic is muted. If you have a question or a statement for the topic.
Hey, good morning.
Peace, peace, Grand Rising.
Peace, peace. Yeah, I love that. So what is it? It looks like Ethiopia.
It says Ethiopia is the biblical land. Do you agree?
What is that?
I said the title says Ethiopia is the biblical land. Do you agree?
Maybe. Why you say that?
Well, do you think that the Israel in the Middle East is the true Israel?
Israel?
Yes, Israel.
What about that?
Do you agree that that Israel is the true Israel that God is going to establish his kingdom on?
I think I need a time for that. I'm not ready to answer this question, but yeah, the reason I mean, like, I see that like these people are from Ethiopia. Looks like during by the in the 90s, during like by the Emperor Haile Selassie. Looks like 1981, I guess.
Okay, but I'm saying, do you think the biblical Israel is in Ethiopia, East Africa, not in the Middle East? Because a lot of Ethiopians were transported to the Middle East to justify their land, justify the fake, the isn't real, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I totally understand, but that I told you, I'm not like story. I mean, I'm not
You're,
a story person. Like I
you're
don't
not like
really.
religious?
I am religious. I'm Orthodox. I'm a Christian Orthodox. So
Okay.
a lot of things I believe, but there's some I don't agree. But I mean, like, but I'm Orthodox Christian.
Okay. A lot of Orthodox
So I'm
Christians,
believing God, and I'm Orthodox.
huh? So
Yeah, I'm Orthodox. And go ahead.
as an Orthodox Christian, are you waiting for Christ to return to restore his kingdom, restore the throne of David?
I think I need to leave you. Uh, I mean, if I start talking, so I'm probably talking like me with the truth. So I need to have my Bible. So I need to be like, I don't want to answer something like I don't know really a lot. So yeah, I guess I'm the wrong guy talking. So I can
Oh,
answer this question
okay. Well, I
because I
appreciate you
don't know
coming up
a
then.
lot. Honestly. Already, yeah, that's good. I mean, like I see like your topics in with your husband or wherever.
hmm Well, definitely check out the website. Read the declaration. We have it in Amharic if you can't read English. And I appreciate you coming up. Peace to you. I'll see it. The title is what it says. Is Ethiopia is the biblical land. So if you agree, you know, you agree. If you disagree, come up and explain how Ethiopia is not the biblical land. Explain how the Middle East, the 1948 Israel, is the biblical land.
So encouragement. So a different picture, different sceneries, different images. All this bring the encouragement so we can get self-love instead of self-hate.
Someone says we don't follow the Bible. We do. We follow God. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to follow God. Is the Bible true? Yes, the Bible is true. But man's interpretation of the Bible is false. So you're supposed to follow God, not a book. God is not a book. God is spirit.
And y'all, you ain't gotta go to psychology. We have to stop our upbringing, the way we are being upbringing. I had a brother on TikTok, man. I should have reshared it. But we so for the gospel, like. But he said, when he go out, all he hear is shoot him up, bang bang, kill him. He can't even have a good time no more. Can't even have a good time. There's a reason why Ethiopia got the oldest Bible. Oh, that's just a coincidence. Ethiopia got the oldest Bible. But like I was saying, so that's why it's Ethiopia. Ethiopia has the oldest Bible, y'all. No Bible come from up here. No Bible come from here or here. No Bible come from here or here. She come right here. See right here, right here. Who said that? That's Day. Right here, right here. It don't come from nowhere up here. So like I said, these are the things that, like, what happened? Why? Why you mad? We know. You say you confused. Why we think?
Someone said Ethiopia also wasn't conquered. They preserved their history. Well, if Ethiopia preserved its history, they still would have had a man sitting on the throne, having a king to, be in control of their government. Right now, they have a democracy. They have a republic, and a republic comes from the Romans. That's a Roman ideology of a government. That's why Christ in the last days restores the throne. David's throne. It's not in Israel. It's not in the Middle East Israel. Their Israel. It's in the East, it's in East Africa. The king was going to come from the East, not the Middle East, but the East. And now they have tricked the whole world with thinking that the Middle East is where Israel is.
You say you confused. Why we think we know everything? Why are you mad that we know? See, people mad we know, and we just telling you for free. You ain't got to get in your car. You ain't got to buy no ticket. You can just click your phone and get free information that's going to benefit your cousins, your aunties, your kids, your friends, and your associates. Again, that's that self-hate. Remember we did a video how the Jews uplift their Messiah, but the real Jews crucified their Messiah? You crucified the one that came to help you. It's like you bite the hand that feeds you. You're like a wild animal.
If you think it's not true, if you think Ethiopia is not the biblical Israel, come up and explain why it's not. A lot of people say, no, it's not. Then where is it? Where do you guys learn your information? We get our information from the Most High. Because the people in the world right now is deceived. The whole world is deceived, as is mentioned in Revelations. So if the whole world is deceived, how are they deceived? They're deceived by the doctrine of Christ. It's not that Christ is just, it's not that they just whitewash Christ being white. Of course Christ is black. But what else did they deceive the people with? Is the doctrine of Christ. Is God's prophecy that they have distorted and also, connected to a false history to justify their history. So most people believe that Christ came 2,000 years ago, when the Bible doesn't have any dates. It doesn't have any dates because it's a prophecy. It's a vision. But they took these prophecies and created false history, when this prophecy will only be happening in the last days. The Bible only talks about the last days. It doesn't have any other date.
We trying to get you out the trap. You know, but the wild animal attack the person that's trying to get him out the trap. Yeah. So we just trying to get our people out the trap.
The roar of power, the smell of burning gasoline,
Out the trap. And they're attacking us because they wild. Man, no man, you wild for that, man. You wild. You wild for that.
Peace, peace. Can you come out? I block.
Wow.
Someone said, if Jerusalem was in Ethiopia, I would believe. But it is not. It's in Israel. Well, Jerusalem is a mind frame. And Jerusalem, Christ brings Jerusalem out of heaven. Christ brings the new Jerusalem. The people in Israel are still waiting for Christ to come. What is Christ going to do? He's going to bring the new Jerusalem. They put Jerusalem on the map. So now you believe that Jerusalem is the one over there. Like, y'all don't realize they have controlled history. And if you really did your research, they used New Jerusalem in their own paperwork for them to create a new world. This is how they constantly keep doing that, using a New Jerusalem, using the word Jerusalem that they have stolen from East Africa, because the Bible comes from Ethiopia. It doesn't come from the Middle East. If you want to come up, you have to request up. I'm pretty sure y'all know how to work TikTok. This ain't y'all first day.
Wow.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on, brother? Peace, peace.
Really didn't I don't know how I really don't know how I came across this live, but I was trying to join another one, and then all of a sudden y'all's popped up.
Okay. Maybe you're in the right place, bro. Say God works in a mysterious way. I know, but on our platform, you just...
So someone said, I understand the Bible comes from Ethiopia, but that also doesn't make it Israel. So when we talk about the throne of David, when we talk about the men who sat on the throne of David, let me put some pictures up so y'all can see what we're talking about. When we're talking about the throne of David we can talk about Menelik, right? We could talk about Menelik II. Does anyone know about Menelik II? Do you guys know what throne he was sitting on in the 1900s? Not 2,000 years ago, in the 1900s. And what the Europeans were calling him? This says Menelik of Abyssinia. This is the older name for Ethiopia. The most democratic of all monarchs, is seriously ill, says the patches from the capital of his empire to Rome. And if he should unalive, an outbreak menacing the safety of European representatives will likely be followed by a fierce scramble among the powers for his rich domain. Right? So this is proof that before World War I, they were planning on going to East Africa to get his rich domain. Looking for the other part of the article. I don't see it right now. But in this article, they also call him the Lion of the tribe of Judah. They call him the Chosen One. But I can't find it right now, guys. So, but we can also talk about Tedros. We can talk about everybody that sat on that throne. So here we go. I can't really see it because it says the east that the tiding that lion conqueror of tribe of Judah, Menelik, chosen of King of Kings of Ethiopia. It's his styles himself lies seriously ill. So these people, the higher ups, know about Ethiopia. That's why they're going to tell you that Ethiopia was never colonized. So you won't even look into their history to figure out, oh, what is the majesty of this history? How have they not been colonized? Who were the kings that sat on this throne? What were their titles? Why are their titles connected to biblical prophecy? Even like Tedros II. Most people don't know who Tedros II is. Especially African Americans. They're not going to teach African Americans Ethiopian history. They do that on a purpose so you won't know where your true identity come from. Because the slaves that they stolen were slaves that had skills, slaves that were connected to biblical prophecy, slaves that were Christian, but taught them a different version of Christianity, which is Jesus Christ that's in the sky, that most people believe in till this day. So it's a purpose on why they don't want you to know about Ethiopian history. He found his way. He found out how to come up.
Yeah, what up, though?
Peace, peace.
Uh, so the reason why I was saying that I don't believe that Ethiopia is the biblical Israel is because in the beginning of the Bible, where they describe the location of the Garden of Eden, and they talk about the river that parts into four heads, and it said one of the heads is the land of Cush, aka Ethiopia. So Ethiopia has had its original name since the beginning of the Bible. In fact, is the only place that is written in the Bible that still has its original name from day one. It was never changed. Israel, what was the name of Israel before it was changed to Israel?
Brother, Ethiopia is not its original name. It's a modern name and it's a Greek name. Ethiopia was called
Ethiopia
Abyssinia.
is
Hold on. Ethiopia was called Abyssinia if you actually was reading what I put up. They call Menelik II king of Abyssinia. They call
so
Tedros king of
where are you getting
Abyssinia.
your information from? Because I got mine from the Bible, so I'm
Go
just asking.
go the Bible is translated, brother. You read in an English
That's
translated.
why I'm asking. Where are you getting your info?
If you
I'm not trying to argue with you.
so
I'm
so
fishing
look
for
I'm
information.
saying look up Abyssinia. Look up the ancient Abyssinia.
I'm asking, where do you get this information from?
Brother,
Like what book?
what you mean what book? It's
You're telling me, I'm asking you, where are you getting,
you
what book
know,
are you reading from? I got my information from the Bible. Where did you get your information from?
brother, you can look up in multiple
Oh my
sources that
God.
Ethiopia
Where
was
do you get
called
your
Abyssinia.
information from? Where do you get your
The
information
Abyssinia
from?
is not going to be in the book, brother. It's not going to be in the Bible.
I'm
If you go to Ethiopia, or if you talk to an Ethiopian, or if you look up your research about Ethiopian texts, you will see that Ethiopia was called Abyssinia. That if you want to do your research, I'm telling you, go
I'm
research
asking,
Abyssinia.
where do you get your information from? Where do you get your information from?
I'm gonna find a article if I can get one.
Oh my God, I must go now, my friend.
Okay. If you believe it's Ethiopia, that's on you. Like, this is true. This is facts that Ethiopia was called Abyssinia before Ethiopia. Ethiopia is a Greek name. So if you want to find you want such of a source, go do the research. I told you Abyssinia. I gave you the name. Go do it yourself. You did your own research about Ethiopia. Go do your research about Abyssinia. Y'all want me to do everything? No, go do your research. You've been doing your research. Peace to you, guys.
Hello.
Peace, peace.
Are you saying that Ethiopia is Israel?
Correct. It's the biblical Israel. This is where the throne of David is. This is where the Bible comes from, and this is where Christ is going to restore the throne.
I'm an Ethiopian, and like, we don't believe that Israel mentioned in the Bible is like the Ethiopia that we live in today.
Well, if you're talking about the modern Ethiopia, just the little small landlocked, we're not talking about that. We're obviously talking about sides of Sudan, Kenya, Somalia, Eritrea. So we're not talking about the modern day Ethiopia. We're talking about the ancient Abyssinia.
Yeah, but the ancient Ethiopia, it's mostly represent the present Ethiopia. It's not that different. It's in the same space. It's in on East Africa.
Okay, so
At some point, we went also to Yemen.
where do you think Israel is then?
Where Israel is today, where the historical facts are.
So those historical facts come from the Romans. They don't come from where do those historical facts come from?
Like from archaeology, scientists, they can even tell you, you know.
So okay.
Wait, let me tell you something. Do you know Lalibela?
Yes, Lalibela in Ethiopia, the church.
Do you know why King Lalibela built that church?
You tell me.
It's because Ethiopians, they used to go to Israel, to the birthplace of Christ, just like a pilgrimage. They used to travel a lot of miles. You know how far it is. So, in his dreams, an angel told Lalibela, your people are going a long way to Israel, so build them an Israel in Ethiopia, and Lalibela will be called the second Israel.
So
So he built that.
Lalibela in Ethiopia is going to be called the second Israel.
Yeah, because a lot of people were dying because they wanted to go to Israel. If they went to Lalibela, it will be counted as if they went to Israel.
Brother, Israel was created 1948. The Ethiopians, hold on, the Ethiopians that started going to Israel, that was taken and smuggled to Israel, was a secret operation from the CIA.
Oh, yeah, this one you're talking about.
But why was it a secret operation to bring Ethiopian Jews to Israel? Because they were trying to justify their state. Israel wasn't created by Israelites. Israel wasn't created by Christ. The people that's in Israel are not the scattered people that were taken. So the people who created that Israel to justify their history, their false history, their false Christ. Christ never came 2,000 years ago. That's why during Tedros time, that's why during Tedros time, when this missionary, Henry Aaron Stern, came to Ethiopia to teach Falasha Jews. But what was he
The
teaching?
Catholic.
He wasn't teaching the original Christianity. He was teaching their form
Yeah,
of Christianity,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Their form of Christianity included false history, false dates that Ethiopian Orthodox Jews still believe today. They believe that Christ came 2,000 years ago. They don't realize that Christ is a prophecy that's going to happen in the last days.
yeah. That one, that's right. But uh, he noticed this from Ethiopia, the missionaries. And then when you talk about like the Ethiopian Jews, when I said Ethiopian used to go to Israel, I didn't mean the Jews. I meant the Orthodox Christians. Like before 2,000 years ago, they used to go to Israel to see the place where Christ was birthed.
Yeah, because
So I'm talking
missionaries were
about
coming
that,
into
those people, not
Ethiopia
the
though.
Jews.
Because missionaries were
No,
coming in,
no,
brother, missionaries were coming in Ethiopia giving the priests a false history, telling them that they know where
no,
Jerusalem is. They know where Israel is.
no. Ethiopian Christianity, it didn't came because of missionary or anything. You can see in the Bible.
Brother, the Bible is talking about the last days. It's not talking about history. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. The missionaries came into Ethiopia and gave them a false history. So now they're waiting for a Christ to come out of a sky when Christ is going to be among his brethren. That's why the
Oh,
throne of David that's in Ethiopia is connected to biblical prophecy. Just like Tedros, Johannes, Menelik, Haile Selassie,
so
they sat on the throne.
wait,
Hold on, they sat on the throne, and what was their title? What was Menelik's title when he sat on the throne? In the Bible, it says that Ethiopians will be slain by the sword. So the whole world is deceived about this information. But
so
what was Menelik's title?
Menek the second,
No, what was his title? That was just his name change. But what was his
King
title?
of Kings, King of
King of
Kings, like
Kings.
from the Solomonic dynasty.
What is Christ's title?
He's King, he's Lord.
But is Christ also called King of Kings, Lord of Lords?
Yeah, he can be
Does
King of
does
Kings. Yeah,
Tedros have a statue in Ethiopia called Lord of Lords?
no, no.
That gold statue doesn't say King of Kings,
Oh,
Lord of
okay,
Lords?
okay. Listen to me. Let me explain this one. Are you listening?
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay, back then, Ethiopia in the Zaman Mesafint, before Theodros, when Ethiopia was divided, like in a certain place, like in America, in Minnesota, the mayor of that place will be called the king of that place. And then the mayor of New York will be the king of that one. And then if you become like the king of every state, you will be called king of kings. That's why.
I agree.
Uh,
Yes.
do you understand?
Yes,
That's
because yes, Africa
you're
had
not
multiple
comparing it to
kings.
Jesus.
Africa had
Huh?
multiple kings. You know, you had
No,
one
it's not
tribe.
Africa. No, it's in Ethiopia. It
Yes,
was
in
divided.
Ethiopia too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Like I'm just saying, like
Every tribe had its own king.
Johannes was a king,
Yeah,
right?
he's called.
He was a king
Yeah,
before he was King of Kings.
yeah.
Yeah. But Tedros was the King
So
of Kings at the
the
time.
Yeah,
Yeah. So if you look at the background here, it says that the era of judges, the era of princes, ages of
yeah,
princes,
زمن
taken
مسار.
from
Yeah,
the biblical
yeah.
book Judges, was a period in Ethiopian history between the mid 18th and 19th century. It doesn't say it was
Yeah,
connected to Israel's history. It's connected to Ethiopian history because this is during the time when Tedros became king, right? Right before Tedros became king. It was the
like
era of
when this
princes.
was gonna end. Yeah, he made this era end, and he united Ethiopia.
Yes, so I'm saying that the Bible is about Ethiopian history. The history that they have given you about Israel is false history. The BC, the AD dates, those are made up dates. Just like in the Bible, it talks about a crafted council changed times and laws. What times and laws did they change?
Yeah.
They changed the prophecy of God's, they changed God's prophecy, the timing of God's prophecy.
What's your point? Let's get like I don't
My
understand
point
the point.
my point is
Yeah, yeah.
that the Christ is going to restore the throne of David back to Ethiopia. Because because when they stole biblical manuscripts from Ethiopia, they took these biblical manuscripts and started calling themselves these titles. Just like why you have a King Charles in the United Kingdom. Now they're calling their kings King of Kings. Now they're having the
So
authority. That's why the Pope also is stealing God's prophecy for their own gain. That's what's going on. But Christ is
so
going to restore this throne back to Ethiopia where it belongs.
uh, yeah, like, I don't have much information on that one. I thought you were saying like Ethiopia is the Israel, like where Jesus Christ was born, and all of that.
Well, Christ is like Bethlehem. Bethlehem
Yeah,
is not a place on the map. That's why I was trying to like the Europeans, they came into Africa and they divided it. They divided it and they
okay,
put names on the maps. That's why you have
okay,
Israel coming in on the map at 1948. It wasn't 2,000 years ago Israel was on the map,
yeah,
you know? So they had to
yeah, yeah.
reestablish Israel so people can look at a place and justify what they read in the Bible to that place and not know what's going on in Ethiopia.
So
It's part of the
the main
deception.
thing, yeah, the main thing I wanna say is Christianity didn't come to Ethiopia with missionaries or anything like that because of the white men.
Well, I'm not saying that.
Christianity,
I'm the
yeah, yeah,
Christianity originated in Ethiopia, but I was saying that the missionaries came into Ethiopia with a different doctrine of Christianity. That's what they
no,
did.
no, no.
Yes, they
Oh
did.
yeah, the Catholics,
Then why does Ethiopia have a Roman Catholic Church?
yeah, but they're,
Why does Ethiopia
yeah,
have
yeah,
a college in the Vatican City?
yeah. We know, but they are so small compared to the large Orthodox community.
Yes, but the Ethiopian college that's in the Vatican City is a college for a priest to come learn.
Yeah. So yeah, back then the missionaries, the Catholic missionaries, they didn't came to like educate or do anything. They came to like, you know how Europeans did to Africans. They just want to use and abuse the system, the resources, and then that's when Theodorus knew, and then told them to get out of the country, and he removed every Catholic, like Catholic missionary.
All right, brother. Well, I would say definitely compare the old Christianity and the Christianity that the Orthodox Christians believe today, or compare it to what the Europeans' Christianity is, because they believe in the same Christ. But you
Wait, I
should.
didn't get you.
I'm saying compare. Do your homework and
Okay,
compare
okay.
the Orthodox Christians' Christ, comparing it to the European Christ, because it's the same doctrine.
Yeah, yeah, it's different.
What is different?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you for coming up.
Thank you. It was a good conversation. I have to leave.
No problem. Peace to you. Peace to the guests.
Hi, how are you? My name's Tiara. I'm just trying to understand what it is that you guys believe because I grew up Christian, but then I transitioned into Hebrew Israelite. But now I'm just like, I don't know, there's a lot of things that are different and I'm not really understanding. And I do think that the Bible was changed and misused. So I'm really just trying to find something that makes sense. And this is making a little bit of sense to me because I believe that Christ is spirit. Well, so far that's the only thing that's making sense. So can you explain to me in a way that like a child would understand, like someone that's new? Like how would you explain this concept to them?
Okay, well, I would say first you gotta realize that God is spirit, not Christ. Christ is like a son of man that sits on the throne of David. He's like he has authority. He's a leader of the people basically. But like Hebrew Israelites or Christians, they would use Christ as like a fairy tale figure, an idol, and
So you're saying we shouldn't worship Christ?
yeah, you should worship God.
Okay.
Worship the words that Christ speak, because what he speaks is spirit.
Which is God. Yeah, which is God.
Okay, that makes sense with what I was believing. But do you pray to him regularly? Like how like Christians would, or I don't know.
Well, no.
Like how do you worship?
You worship Christ by listening. That's why the Bible say wait on the Lord. So when you wait on Christ, or you wait on Christ to appear, then this is the time where you can worship Christ, which is really worshiping the words that he speaks, because Christ speaks the spirit. So if you worship the words that Christ speak, you'll be worshiping God. So it's really not about praying for Christ and all that. All that is just religion traditions. You know, the scriptures instruct us to wait on the Lord, and our strength is going to be renewed. As you notice, people have been praying all their life and nothing has came from it. You know, so prayer was really the hope. You know, to keep hope in God. Don't lose faith in God, and just know God blessing or God promise would appear one day, to bring forth that redemption as it was foretold.
Okay, so this is like kind of like listening through word of mouth.
Correct. As it says, my sheep hear my voice. So those who truly follow God gonna follow the vessel God have sent, and God is gonna give you the eyes and the ears to see the vessel that God has chosen.
Okay, so then what do we believe will happen during the end times? Like how do you believe that you'll be saved, and where is heaven?
Well, people are being saved right now from the watered down information that we are drowning in. That's why Christ is a fisherman of men. So Christ will be anointed by God, walking the earth, saving people from the watered down information, which are the lies, the deception, the idol worship. So that's what you're being saved from in the end times. You know, so that's all that is going on right now as we speak. That's why I say, blessed of those who hear and see, because those who hear and see are those that receive the blessing for God, just like Noah time, so they can get on the ark, so they won't drown in the flood.
So basically, like what we're looking to be saved into is a restorance of identity. Not really that we're going to a different place, but we'll just be restored.
Correct. Yeah. Like it's really your mind. Yeah. That's what heaven do. That's why I say heaven is the kingdom is within inside of you. But those keys will come from the teachings of Christ or the information of Christ. So you can unlock that heaven that's within you, which is your mind, and you'll be set free again from the lies, and that will be the heaven on earth.
Okay, this makes sense. Because I was watching the Hebrew Israelite videos, and I didn't really like how like harsh they were, and it wasn't really making sense. But now, like speaking to you guys, not really personally, but personally, it makes more sense. Because I was understanding you guys through the video, but not really from... They weren't letting you guys speak, if that makes sense. So then my next question is just like, you're saying that Ethiopia is the biblical Israel. Can you explain the significance behind that?
Well, the Bible,
like what's going to happen?
Yeah, the Bible is about David's descendants, those who sit on David's throne. I don't know if you're familiar with the scripture where it say David had blood on his hands, so he couldn't build the father's house.
No.
Well, they do have is a scripture in the Bible where it says David could not build the father's house, so God was going to choose someone from David. And this is where you get the prophecy of Christ, because Christ is the seed of David. So the prophecy is for Christ to return back to Ethiopia, where the throne of David is at, to restore that throne in the righteousness of God. So the principles, the understanding, and the wisdom of God can be back in the earth. And this is how the nations will be healed, through the information and the wisdom and the principles that will be brought back from Christ to heal all the world and the nations. So Ethiopia is just where the throne is at. It's almost like the White House for Africa. That's why you had an African Union is in Ethiopia. You know, these things are showing, it gives significance, but like I said, we don't have no understanding. So that's what makes Ethiopia the biblical Israel.
Okay. So do you guys have a YouTube channel where you explain this from the beginning? If that makes sense.
Well,
I really want to learn.
So many videos. We do have a YouTube channel, but it's so many videos. So, I think it'll probably be better to go on our website. You know, yajujudah.com. And, you know, it's a lot of information on there. It's a lot of documents.
Yeah, his YouTube is on there.
You know, the YouTube is on there. So I think that would be the best place.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to let someone else join. I'm going to stay and listen.
All right. Appreciate you for coming up.
Peace,
Thank
peace.
you.
Check out the website, y'all. Check out the website. Don't forget.
All praise to the Most High.
You kind of low, brother.
All praise to the Most High. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're real low. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you just, like I say, you just kind of real low, and we driving, so it's kind of. But go ahead.
Okay. So you saying that Ethiopia, all the historical facts happened in Ethiopia?
Correct. Yeah, it's all, you know.
Where can I get that information from?
I could pull up something right now and just give you
So
you know, but hold up, slow down, brother. Let's read something first. Let's get now. Are you familiar with the era of Judges that's in the Bible? Are you familiar with the book of Judges?
A little bit, yes, sir.
Okay, if you look on my screen right now, it says the era of princes. The era of Judges It's the same thing as the era of princes when Israel did not have a king. So as you see, this is a period in Ethiopian history. This is not a period in Israel history. This is a period in Ethiopian history. And also you have a scripture in the Bible where it says, the children of Israel, the children of Ethiopia, the children of Israel, are you not like the Ethiopians unto me? You know, so these things tie, again, Ethiopia, the throne of David, all this is, relevance, like I said, but we was never taught this. The Kaepernick us. So this is just a starting point where you could look these things up to fact check it. And this is why the false Israel was created in 1948. If Israel was the real land in the Middle East, they wouldn't have had to create it in 1948. It would have already existed. But the land of Israel never existed because Israel is a people, not a land. Say it again. Blends and friends.
So King Saul and King David started out in Ethiopia. That's what you said.
Well, correct. Well, like I say, like those are allegory for the leaders of Israel. When you deal with Saul, you deal with David, you deal with Solomon. Those are more allegory names for the leader. So like for instance, Menelik would have been King David in the 18 and 1900s. Menelik represented King David. And that's why I was telling the sister earlier, King David had blood on his hands. King David was a man of war. So when you deal with the Ethiopian priests, these were men of war. So they could not build the Father's temple. So the prophecy has always been that somebody from David gonna come and restore the throne in the righteousness of God.
So basically you're saying the Bible not real.
I'm not saying the Bible not real. The stuff you've been told about the Bible. The Bible, the people twisted the Bible. The Bible is true.
But how is it true if it's been twisted?
How what?
How is it true if it's been twisted, bro?
Because the doctrine, like the Bible don't tell you to go to the Middle East for Israel.
They say go to the land of Canaan, which is what they call Israel now.
No, that was made up, brother. That's what I'm saying. That was made up.
How can you prove that it was made up?
Brother, you can look up right now and see the Israel was created in 1948. I'm finna bring it up.
I know Israel was made up in 1948, but the land of Canaan was not made up in 1948. The land of Canaan is biblical. The land of Canaan is just as old as the land of Cush. If not,
I know, but that's why I say, brother, you have to understand from the point of removing your bread with yeast. Like at the time when you come to God's table, you got to get rid of all your bread so you can get filled up with the bread from heaven. So right now, the land of Canaan is a more. These are figurative names. These are not real names. You gotta look up the food truck.
But the land of Ham and the land of Cush is real names.
No, it's not, brother. That's not.
For Abyssinia.
No, brother. That's
Abyssinia come later on. Cush is the original land. Name of the land, correct?
No.
No.
Cush is a people. Ham is a people. Ham is a mind frame of the children of Israel that's after the flesh.
So who's the father of Ethiopia, and the father of Mazrael, and the father of Libya, and the father of Put, and the father of Canaan? So Canaan is allegory?
Brother, you ever read the scripture where it says it's foolishness to argue about genealogy?
I'm asking you a question.
You know why it says this? I'm just saying, and I'm giving you answers, but you want answers based off the false doctrine that you have been given. You like I say, when you deal with the Bible, you're dealing with allegory writings. You're not dealing with literal writings, because Menelik not in the Bible. Menelik first name not in the Bible. You see what I'm saying? So the Bible is written in allegory. It's not written as social security numbers and birthdays and all that. It's not the Bible not meant for that. The Bible is meant to show the transgressions of your forefathers and the prophecy that's gonna restore the people. That's really all the Bible is written for. The Bible is not written to show you all the things that you are looking for. That's the real confusion. So you go to the Bible to try to find things that the Bible is never meant to show you. Where the food truck at?
Brother, that's why the Most High left information on them walls in Kemet. So Kemet is allegory too, but it's there with the information on the wall.
Brother, Kemet is really Ethiopia. When you deal with,
No, it's not.
you know, like I say, that's like the word.
And I'm not just going off the Bible. I'm going off stuff outside the Bible. The whole South Africa is Kush. Not that little piece on the east of Africa is Kush. The whole South is the Kush.
No, Kush, brother. Kush Shem represents the spiritual. Nah. Kush represents the spiritual son from the leaders. Ham represent the son that's after the flesh. You see what I'm saying? So that's why when Moses was writing these things, these are
how is everything allegory until it comes to what you want to put down? As far as now, how Moses is not allegory.
Christ instills the scriptures, brother.
Who is Christ? Who is Christ?
Christ is an anointed vessel, a son of man, a living son of man who God chooses. Slow down, brother. You ain't even got the answer yet.
I already know what you finna say.
Slow down, brother. Christ is not a deity that came 2,000 years ago. Christ is a living vessel chosen by the Most High God. That's what Christ is.
Got you.
So what we telling you?
I already know you trying to say you are him. I already know, bro. I've been watching this since 1992. Before it was YouTube, Google, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I already know you're not the first one to say that you Christ, bro. Nor the last. You know what I'm saying?
That's not what you asked me. You asked me what was Christ, and that's what I told you.
Yeah, but I already know that you've been saying since you came on the scene that you are him, bro.
Okay, that's okay. Okay, continue the conversation. I know that, you know that. So now what?
Okay, so what I'm saying is now you're saying Moses, everything is allegory but Moses?
Moses spoke in parables, brother.
Man, stop. Moses spoke history, shit that really truly happened, brother.
Bro.
Not allegory, because
hold up.
So us going to slavery is allegory. That part not allegory.
Let me get this scripture for you.
Us going to slavery is allegory. Us being scattered 4 corners of the earth is allegory. Stop, bro. Hey, I'm not even finna go there with you, because like you say, what is true, we not supposed to argue, but I'm just letting you know, man, you're not gonna fool everybody with that, bro. You need to come back to the Most High and King David, bro. You're not him, bro.
Brother, if you came up here to hear your own self, you came up here for the wrong reason.
Sis, I'm out of here. Y'all can mute me and kick me off y'all shit, man. Do that.
Why come up with that energy if you want to come up here?
Because it's a shame. It's a shame how this dude or you is trying to manipulate.
Yeah.
Well, this what you do. Just prove us wrong. Like if I'm such a liar and we so much wrong, come up here with evidence to debunk us, and people won't listen no more. This is what I know my brother's wrong, so I'm gonna come with righteous correction. I'm not angry and mad. All my brothers lying. All my sisters lying. So when I approach my sisters and brothers who are telling lies, we have righteous correction. That's why it's written in the Bible, only a fool hates correction. So if you could come up here and show us where we are wrong, with something legit, then I would be a fool not to accept that correction. But I'm not going to accept correction for someone who can't show me where I'm wrong and want me to follow the world when I'm supposed to be separated from the world. It say, be ye separate. That's what we are. We separate. We not of the crowd. Our information not of the world. You know, we are totally separate. Now, if we are wrong, come up here and help a brother. Come up here and help your sister. You see what I'm saying? This is going to show you they don't have no substance. Because if they truly have substance, they'll be bringing it out and showing us where we wrong. Because that's what we do on a day in and day out. We show you where we wrong, and we bring the righteous correction to help our brothers and sisters. But when you can't prove somebody wrong, you get mad and leave. Kick me off your shit. Why you came up? Shit. Oh, y'all my people, bro. My people, man. Boy. I'm gonna try Sun too. McDonald's?
No, by the gym. That's the one.
No, she went by Folk County.
You could have put that in your real thing, but it's too alright.
We need to be.
I could have been. You could just put
Oh no, he's not coming up. Just say Folk County. The courthouse.
Fort County Courthouse.
Okay, Fulton County Courthouse. Let's go.
All praises, all praises.
What's going on, brother? Peace, peace.
Man, I appreciate you and my sister delivering this word. You know, you unpacked so much just in a little bit of time on that last couple of calls, and you know, we talked about time reconstruction, the Great Deception. We talked about the throne being in Ethiopia, which I do believe that the original throne was in Ethiopia, and it was reestablished by the King of Kings. Like you said, the brother had blood on his hands. Well, years later, the Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie actually holds the spirit and the bloodline of David. So he was actually crowned King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and the conquering Lion of Judah. Well, in his travels, he came to America because this is where the Israelites were actually migrated from via Moses, Abraham, because Abraham was instructed by God to go back east to the land of Africa to pull his people out and bring them into safety and into freedom. Well, in reestablishing that in the late 60s, Haile Selassie actually went back to Ethiopia to reestablish the throne there and reestablish what had been undone regarding the throne. He still sits on the throne of David today.
Well, no, like you know, it's about David descendants. Like one man does not hold the bloodline of David descendants. So this is what hold on. This is
I agree that
I know. So
that
all right. So hold up, brother. Hold up. This. Like when the throne is established, the people are going to be in safety. The throne is not going to be established, and the people are still fighting. That's not the prophecy. You know, like
that's not what I said.
That's what I'm saying. When the throne is restored, it's called the Prince of Peace.
Exactly.
Ethiopia haven't been at peace since, you know, before Haile Selassie. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
so although
the thing is that brother, I want to finish because see, you're jumping in, and yes,
hold up, no,
you're not incorrect. You're not incorrect, my brother. But
brother, I know, but you have to.
You have to be patient.
Brother, you have to be patient to have a conversation. When you came up, I stopped talking. I heard you out.
But I didn't finish. It was a lot of things. And you cut in.
Yeah, because it was a lot. It had to be cut in because I gave you like 2 minutes to talk. And for one thing, a lot of stuff that was said got to be addressed. We can't keep going on and on with certain things that were said, which we really don't disagree with, and we got to see, can we come to common ground so we can move forward. We're not just up here to have a conversation. You know, this is a movement that's happening. So Haile Selassie ain't here to sit on the throne.
But his spirit is.
No, it's the spirit of God is spirit. Haile Selassie is the son of man. Hold up, brother.
Yes, you're
Brother,
correct.
hold up. The Bible is written that God is spirit.
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So spirit don't go in spirit. Spirit goes in flesh and blood. Do you agree with this?
Yes.
Okay. So Haile Selassie was flesh and blood.
But his spirit within him was that of God.
No. The spirit that's in him had to be the spirit of God. It can't be the spirit of
That's what I just
high
said.
priest.
That's what I just said, my brother. That's exactly what I just said. The spirit within
No,
him
you said
is
Haile
the spirit of
Selassie
God.
spirit.
Haile Selassie, as well as your spirit within you, the breath of life is the breath of God.
The
Man,
breath of life
y'all
comes from
tripping,
God.
bro.
Because right
Well, no
now, a
kidding.
lot of people got breath, but they don't have the breath of life because their tongue is unaliving people. The power of life and death is in the tongue. So those who speak lies, they don't have the breath of life. The breath of life comes from God, from the one who God gives the spirit to speak truth. That's the breath of life. That's what the Bible is. So the Bible is about a counsel. You see what I'm saying? So right now, everybody don't have the breath of life. So Haile Selassie, breath of life ain't here no more because he is not here
Yeah,
as a physical being.
Yeah, you do, man. Because if you're breathing, you have the breath of life in you.
No.
When the body dies at its maximum of 120 years or 1,000 God years, that body must go back to dust. The body will die, but the spirit will live on. And that's exactly the message. That's exactly the message that Haile Selassie. That's exactly the message that Haile Selassie was preaching. Was that his spirit will live on, and he shared this information.
God will live on. God would never die. God is a living God. So Christ.
And so is the breath within you. That breath within you will never die, because guess what?
David, listen, brother. The scriptures say David will never lack a man to sit on the throne. So Haile Selassie won't be on the throne no more. God gonna choose another man from the descendants of David. That's all we saying at the end of the day. So Haile Selassie is gone. Menelik is gone. Tetos is gone.
And that is because Tafari is gone. His male flesh is gone, but his spirit still lives on, brother.
No, brother. We talk about God's spirit, not man's spirit. We are connected to God's spirit, not Haile Selassie's spirit.
Bro, there's no separation between God's spirit and man's spirit.
Yes,
spirit is one. No, bro. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because
Brother,
God is
the words that Christ speak are spirit. So you have to hear the words that he speaks to get the spirit. So where is the spirit being spoken in? Where can we get the spirit?
The spirit is through the breath of life, because God breathes his breath into every living soul.
Brother, when God breathes his breath, that's from the anointing vessel that God has anointed. That's why the scriptures say, Christ says, the words I speak, they're a spirit and they're a life. So the way you get the breath from God, the way you get it blew in your mouth, is you accept the words from the anointed one. This is how you get the breath of life.
That's your resurrection. Once you understand
so that means you don't have the breath of life until you receive the rebirth. You have to be reborn again to have the breath of life.
You have your breath of life, whether you resurrected and come back with knowing is a different story. That's within the acceptance of the word.
Okay, brother. Well, the throne, there's no one sitting on the throne right now. So you're
absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. And that's the reason why when Haile Selassie was placed on the throne.
So tell us who's sitting on the throne.
It's the spirit of Haile Selassie, which is
David will never lack a man. A man sits on the throne, not spirit.
The spirit is within. We are all spiritual beings. That breath of life shows that you have the breath of God, and then it will never ever die.
Do it again.
In order to conquer death, in order to have everlasting life, you have to understand that and accept it as such. We all have the breath of life within us. We all move from life unto life.
Hey, brother.
We all
guess what?
unto life.
Keep and go give everybody the breath of life so we can heal the nations. Because you wasting your time telling me
It's not up
get
to
the breath of life.
it's not
It
up to
does.
me to give anyone the breath of life, brother. It's up to me to allow and show people how they too are examples of the Christ as he walked before.
Brother, no, you, brother. You're not an example of Christ. Christ is a living vessel. Everybody is not the. Everybody is not the. Can you got your Bible with you?
Yeah, I got it.
Do you got your? Can you? Let's read Hebrews 5:1. Bring out Hebrews 5:1 for me. You know we driving. If you got your Bible, just bring it out for us so we can get a foundation right here. Cause I know you going So let's read this and see what kind of you got.
I got plenty of that because guess what? I know I
Making
got
breath
the Spirit of
sounds.
God within
You
me.
giving people the breath of life by making breath sounds. Man, get the hell out of here with that crazy. Y'all, this shit is getting wilder and wilder, man. So let's bring out Hebrews 5:1, man.
Hebrews 5:1. Therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ.
No. I said Hebrews 5:1.
I'm sorry, my bad. That was Romans, my bad.
You want one or you just one?
Yeah.
Hebrews 5:1. For every high priest taken from among man is ordained. Every high priest taken from any among men is ordained for men.
Okay, now let's stop right there. So somebody that's taken from among men is ordained for man. Now, if somebody is ordained
Every
for
high
man, that means man don't have. That's why God has ordained. Now let's keep going. I just want you to show there's a separation between the one God has ordained and man.
He didn't say
But
one.
continue.
He said every. He said every, not one. It's
But
every.
that's saying every high
For
priest because it's
for
always
every high priest, which means that there's more than one.
okay. But it's every high priest of the time that God chooses. That means every time God chooses a high
Okay.
priest, it's gonna be from among men.
Yeah, he only talking about Haile Selassie.
Yeah, like you talking about Haile Selassie. We talking about every high priest who God chooses. But I just
Exactly.
want you to continue.
I'm not just speaking of Haile Selassie with that. I'm speaking that every man has a breath of life in him, and once he accepts that fact, he is then resurrected into the new understanding.
No,
Every man is not the high priest, though.
no, that's why I say.
That's true.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So let's continue reading. What does the high priest offer who God has chosen?
I got to go back because I've got some scripture I like to read too, but it says, "Who can have compassion on the
No, you
ignorant?"
ain't finished the first verse.
Okay, go ahead. Going back, for every high priest taken from among men is ordained for men in things pertaining to God, that he may offer both gifts and sacrifices for sins.
Okay, now we have been taught that Christ has to sacrifice for your sins, which is correct if you understand Christ is a living vessel from among men, not a deity that came 2,000 years ago. So
Right? Yeah,
this high
I don't
priest,
believe that he's putting any
okay,
error
so
either.
but listen, this high priest also offers gifts. This gift is the gift of the breath of life, because the breath of life is a gift. So I
That's the
agree with
gift of
you.
eternal life. It's the gift of eternal life, my brother. Because
That's the breath of
the gift
life
of
is the
eternal life,
eternal.
the gift of eternal life is understanding and the resurrection and knowing that your breath will live on. Your
Okay,
flesh will
so
die, but your spirit will live on.
okay,
That
but
is
brother,
the gift of life.
but all we telling you is you have to receive the gift from the high priest. This is where we going wrong at. You don't get the
Precisely.
gift. You don't get the gift just because you breathing. The gift comes from the high priest who God has ordained. And if
To
you
share
accept that,
this knowledge with you, right? to share the knowledge with you. As long as you accept that knowledge and accept that understanding, then you are resurrected and you
I
obtain the
know,
gift of
but
eternal
brother,
life.
but you saying, all we saying is this breath comes from a particular vessel who God has chosen among the people.
No, it
This is
doesn't.
where we disagree at.
It doesn't,
Now, it
because
don't come from Hella
that
Selassie.
particular
It don't
that
come from a
particular
book.
that particular that particular vessel is not the breather of life. That particular vessel is the transmit. He's the one that shows you and instructs you and teaches you what that breath of life is, which is eternal.
Brother,
It's not the
brother.
vessel himself. It's not the vessel himself, but it's the life that breathes within him.
It's not. Brother, all we telling you is the high priest is the one that gives you the breath of life at the end of the day. I don't know
No,
why it's so hard to
they share
understand.
they
And
don't give
it don't matter. It
you the
don't
breath
matter
of
how he
life.
give it to you,
They don't give you
or
the
the
breath
steps.
of life, my
That's
brother.
non void.
He's not giving you the breath of life, my brother, because you already had the breath of life. It's understanding that that breath of life will live on, life unto life.
Okay.
That
Okay,
is
brother.
the gift. That
Okay.
is the resurrection.
Okay. Okay. So you have any more
You know,
questions?
I had no questions whatsoever. I had statements.
Well, no. We like I said, we not. You know.
Now we talked about
Statements.
you
Hold
also
on, slow
you
down,
also
slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. This panel is not for false statements, for one thing. Now, the only way you can make a statement if we're in a debate right now. We not up here to listen. We don't make panels for someone to come teach us, for one thing. We don't
well
make panels for you to come. Hold on, slow down.
you ask us if we have information that would not only
Brother, I'm not asking you for info.
I'm not here to debunk anything, my brother. I'm here to share some information that I've obtained.
But bro, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's not what this panel, brother. This panel is not for us to listen to information. We pass information. We have a movement.
Okay. So
So
what millennium
you
are
can
we
do two
in?
things, brother. Slow down so you can get a foundation of
What
why we have our.
millennium are we in? What
Let me let
millennium
me
are
let
we
me
in,
let
and
me
when did
let
they
me let
change
me.
time?
Brother, I'm not gonna talk over you. I'm not gonna beg you for me to get my words out. I'm just to let you know what this panel is for. It's not for you to give information. That's for one thing. We're not here to receive information. You can debate us. You see what I'm saying? Or you can ask questions. But if you want to give information, that's when you make your own panel. Where is it?
It's in that phone, but it's all right.
Oh.
Next time.
You know, so right now you're on mute, brother, because I'm not finna try to, struggle to talk over you on my panel. That's not gonna happen that way. So you got two options. You can ask questions, or we can have a little friendly debate and we can move on. That's the
Well,
only two options we got.
the question is that you all were speaking on the changing of the time and how we've been deceived. How are
Okay.
millenniums counted?
But like I say, the prophecy is according to God's time, which no man knows. So when we say the changing of time, they took the prophecy and put it in history. When the prophecy is happening in the future, which is today. This is the future. But people are disconnected from the prophecy because we have been told it happened. So that's when we speak on changing of time, that's what we referring to.
Okay, because what I wanted to share was that the changing of time, actually, the way God time is through millennium. He said that we are supposed to live with Him 1,000 years. Am I correct?
Brother, these are allegory things. These not literal. It's not literal.
Bro, they're not allegories, because if that were the case, then why did Methuselah live until 969 years old?
Brother, that's not
969 years was not literal.
Brother, have you ever read a verse in Isaiah where it say, "Don't dwell on the past. I'm doing a new thing. Look how it springs up." You ever read that verse? You want me to pull it for you?
I don't need you to read that verse, bro, because it's not really pertaining to what we're saying.
It is pertaining to you because you dwelling on the past and you're not accepting the new covenant. God gonna make a new covenant with us. So the things that happened in the past, they not for us. The things happen when
You know
y'all
why I
spring up.
say it is? You know why I say that is because they have us thinking that we're in the second millennium when Christ ruled and reigned in the fifth millennium. The death of Christ and the so-called crucifixion of Christ was the end of his rule at the end of the fifth millennium. Those are the fifth millennium and the sixth millennium are the last days. We're in the day of judgment right now because we're in the sixth day, according to God time. And yes, man, some people do understand the time that God has constructed for us. In other words, God time at 969 years, which Methuselah was supposed to have lived, yes, he lived for 969 God years, which translates into 116 man years. But when his flesh died, as God said it would, his spirit transmigrated and transformed into another flesh.
Well, brother, we don't dwell on the past. We have the new song, and we are with the Lamb. So the
You
144, the
can't move
100.
into a new song.
So
You can't move into a new song until you understand the past song, bro.
slow down, brother.
You can't move into the new until you understand the past.
Brother, the only way to learn the new song, you have to be with the Lamb. You speaking from books, so you don't have the new song. You don't
I'm
have the
not
gift,
speaking.
brother. You don't have the new song. You don't have the gift, and you don't have the information of the Father. The
Oh,
whole
yes, I
Bible,
do.
the whole Bible is about worshiping the living God, because when
Yes,
God speaks through living vessels. This is why
yes,
the
and
scriptures
that's
say don't worship the God of the dead. So when you talking about when Methuselah and all these people, they in the ground. We with the living God that's with the
their
living
spirit
Lamb,
lives. They are in the
giving the
ground
new
as
song.
flesh, but their spirit lives on.
Bro. Listen, brother. I cannot talk with someone that's gonna talk when I'm talking.
Their
And like
spirit
I
lives
said,
on,
brother,
man.
like I
You
say,
know,
this panel.
once you understand that your spirit lives on, and you go life on.
I'm gonna get this dude out of here because he damn sure can't. He don't understand nothing, huh? He gonna understand the comments. People talking about he don't want to debunk, but they don't want to debate. Like, man, I'm not finna. We don't make panels. Y'all listen to information, man. We could just stroll down TikTok. We want to do that. You know, we not here. We here to conversate. We'll have a conversation with you. If you want to debate us, we'll debate you. But we don't make panels to listen to information. You know, we sorry.
Hello.
What's going on, brother? Greetings.
Yo, what's up? Are y'all claiming Ethiopia is Israel's?
Yeah, we got facts. You want some facts?
Yeah, what's the basis?
Okay, I'm about to give you something to read right quick, and I want you to tell me what you think. You see that on the screen right now?
Yeah, I saw that.
You know, the book of Judges is connected to Ethiopian history. See,
The Book of Judges. No, I
yeah, the
don't know
book of
about
Judges.
that.
Because are you from Ethiopia?
Yeah, I'm Ethiopian.
Okay, do you know what was happening in Ethiopia in the mid 1700s and the 1800s? Do you know what was going on?
Yeah, I see that Mzamana Masafin and stuff, but this our
No.
history goes way before that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, the Bible don't have dates, brother. So who put the dates in the Bible?
Which dates?
The Bible don't have dates. So who is giving you the dates of biblical stories? Where are these dates coming
This
from?
ain't biblical story. This real history.
Brother, you're not answering the question. The Bible has no dates. No matter what version you get, it's no dates in the Bible. If I pick up the Bible right now and I read the book of Judges, I don't see no date. But somehow the stories that's in Judges have been dated. Who gave us the dates? It wasn't the prophets. The prophets didn't give us dates. So where are these dates coming from?
I'm not sure what you're saying, but the history of Ethiopia goes way before this mid 18th century or 19th century.
Well, I didn't say that, but the book of Judges is connected to Ethiopian history. Of course, we know people was here way before the 1700s. We not denying that fact. But what the fact is, the whole world. Okay, I'll put it to you in this way, in the simplest form. Ethiopia is the only country that has his name on the Bible. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Now, why?
Maybe
If the
there's other
Bible,
countries, of
okay,
course.
listen. If the Bible is not from Ethiopia and the Bible is from Jerusalem, it should be a Jerusalem Bible. It should be an Israel Bible. It shouldn't be an Ethiopian Bible. Ethiopia is showing that
What
Ethiopia
I'm
is where the
saying
Bible
is
come from,
Ethiopian history is before the Bible. It's before Jews. We had shit before them. That's what I'm trying to say.
brother. We not
Stuff.
denying that fact, brother. But the Bible history is Ethiopian history. That's what we trying to reveal to you. You had stuff going on before the Bible. The Bible is not the first book. The Bible is a book that's connected to prophecy. Let's find somewhere to park right
Yes, but the Israelites were like a vassal kingdom of the Egyptians for like a lot of time. We are not vassals of anybody, bro.
brother. What you are denying right now is what's up on the screen. The book of Judges is not connected to Israel history. The book of Judges is connected to Ethiopian history. This is what will make Ethiopia the biblical land and not the modern day Israel. That's all we saying. The throne of David is not in Israel. The throne of David is in Ethiopia.
That sounds cool, but we got our own thrones, man. We don't need to go piggyback on people's history.
What throne do
Brother,
you have?
the Ethiopian,
The Egyptians wrote about our stuff in stone. Like, we don't need to go to Bible myth. They wrote about Punt way before the Bible was even written. They didn't even have gods in Canaan before that.
brother, the
They're
Bible
just
is a
savages.
modern. Yeah, that's all I say. You know, the thing about it, bro, is to reveal to the people that the land of Israel is not the biblical land. Christ will be returning back to Ethiopia to sit on the throne in Ethiopia. You know, so that's all we revealing at the end of the day. Now, all the other stuff, man, you know, that's he say, she say. You know, we could talk about that all day long. But we just here to reveal the biblical land
It's not
and help
she
people
say, bro. It's written
understand
on
God's
stone.
property. Huh?
It's written on stone, bro. Even some stuff written here. We have archaeological evidence here, bro.
Okay. Well,
There's
brother,
museums.
like I say, brother, the
There
throne
would
of
have been a
David,
lot of evidence if we were Israel, you know what I mean?
Well,
brother, Israel is a people, not a land.
And the Bible also mentions how a crafted council changed times and laws. So that history that you looking at in the museums is false history.
We live in it though. What you mean is false history? We literally write with those letters from that time. It evolved into what we write today. We speak the languages too, like
Brother,
like
you don't speak Geese, brother. You don't speak Geese.
it's the same language mixed with Cushitic languages.
You do
Amharic,
not speak,
Tigrinya, Guragenya, all those languages.
brother. Do you speak Geese?
No, it's not Giz. It's mixed with other languages.
I'm asking.
It's based on Giz.
Do you speak Geese?
No, it's an old church language. Just
All right. So,
speak
okay,
it.
but the original Ethiopian Bible is written in Geese, right?
Yeah, the patriarchs in the church speak it.
Brother, I'm asking a question. Is not the original Ethiopian Bible written in Geese?
Yes, it's written in Giz.
Okay. Now the Bible comes from Ethiopia. But why
Yes.
Ethiopians don't speak Geese?
Because Giz got outdated. It just diversified into different regions,
Brother,
mixed
that's
with
your
other
original.
languages.
Listen, that's your original language. It got outdated because of colonizers.
Not colonizers. It got mixed up with other languages. It's been like 3,000 years.
But brother, okay, if the
More than
original
that,
Bible, let's look at it in this way. If the original Bible was
Our
written in
languages, you can
Geese,
check the languages. Amharic still has words connected to Giz. Tigrinya usually has a lot of words connected to Giz.
but hear me out. If the original Bible, which come from Ethiopia, is written in Geese, but it's changed, that's how you diminish words and that's how you hide stuff from the people. This is when you change stuff for a reason. Now, like I said,
Israel is
The
written.
reason why stuff
There's
is
a
hidden
lot of
from
history
Ethiopia,
about
huh?
what. There's a lot of stuff written about
What'd you say?
Israel outside of the Bible too. There's a lot of stuff written
Israel's
about
a
Israel
people.
outside of the Bible.
Israel's a people, brother, not a land. That's why they created a false land in 1848. You can't create an Israel. It's Israel existed in biblical times.
Canaan, whatever, Canaan.
Oh, Lord.
Canaan, the land, the area where the Abrahamic religions came from.
Canaan was not the name even on the map.
Okay, bro. So, you saying the biblical land is in Israel, right?
Yeah,
That's
around there,
what you're
Canaan.
trying to tell?
Yeah, the
So,
David kingdom and
okay,
stuff.
but this is what you don't understand. The kings
What?
proclaimed to be the kings that sat on the throne in Ethiopia. They proclaimed to be from the bloodline of Solomon.
Yes, because that's Queen of Saba went to Jerusalem
Well, brother,
and got married or
you don't
something.
have a king in Israel that proclaimed to be the bloodline of Solomon. And right now, you don't. If Israel, if the true Jews would have came back to Israel, they'll have a king right now.
I'm not saying that the Jews today are the true Jews. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is,
they not the true Jews. It's not the true land. The fake Jews can't
I'm
go
not
back to the
saying.
original land. They can only the fake Jews can only go to a fake land. Like the fake Jews could not go back to the ancient, real biblical land. It's impossible to do that. But this is why they created a false land to bring the false created Jews. It go together.
That's not how. That's not why our kings claim they're Israeli or line of Judah or whatever. They claim that because they're descendants of Queen of Saba, which is near Ethiopia, near this region, around Yemen. It's not Israeli or something. It's not Canaan. She went to Solomon and then they birthed a child called Minilik, and he came here and became the king. That's the myth.
You're right. That's a myth.
There's a lot of history before that. That came after Abrahamic religions came. That's a myth that was born after the Abrahamic religions.
Brother, listen.
There's a lot of history written in stone before that.
You gotta look at it like this. This is what Ethiopians don't know. The Solomon and Sheba story is the same story as the Virgin Mary and Jesus. The Mary and Jesus, they the same story. What Joseph got with Mary and had a son. Solomon got with Sheba and had a son. So these are allegory stories that connect to God prophecy. But again, all this information have been watered down, and the colonizers have created false history using allegory tales that connect to God prophecy. So it's no time when Sheba ever came. It's no time when there was no Virgin Mary. These are allegory, again, stories that connect to God prophecy. And this is what we don't know when we use these stories. So a lot of people use the Joseph
Bro,
and Mary
we made
story.
up that myth. We made that myth ourselves.
No, they're not myths.
We made that myth to legitimize ourselves, bro.
No,
Nobody
they are
wrote it for
stories.
us.
No, they are not myths.
I'm talking about the Sheba myth.
Meaning. I'm talking about the Sheba myth. The Sheba story is a story with a hidden meaning, just as the Joseph and Mary story is a story with a hidden meaning. These are not just myths. There's a story. That's why I call them allegory. Allegory are stories with hidden meanings.
Of course, they're based on truth, but they're not direct truths.
Brother, the Bible is parables.
They
That's
are
the same thing as allegory.
Truth, but
okay, brother.
Sure,
like I said,
The truth is the happening of the story. That's the truth. But the story is a prophecy, is a vision of what's going to happen. So it's not that it's not that it's false. Hold on, it's not that it's It's not that it's false. It's that the prophecy is going to happen at a chosen generation. But the chosen generation has been stolen and given you a false history. That's what we're trying to tell you.
But that myth only started around like 12th century. Before that,
That's
the kings
insane.
never
Those
claimed they were
dates.
descendants of
But
Solomon or Sheba. They only just claimed they were kings of Aksum and Saba, like the area. They didn't say we were like descendants of Solomon. The Aksumites never said that. The Damats, the Sabians never said that. It's only after the Solomonic dynasty that myth came into action. It's connected to that old Aksumite history, but it was not really based on much reality, just
When
more
was the
myth.
era, brother? The myth came when the colonizers took the information and came back with the stories, but didn't give the meaning of the stories. They took the stories and they created false history. This is why they have a timeline that go back to BCE, AD, because they used biblical stories, which was connected to prophecy, and created his story, which is history. History is buried with history. If anybody's talking about something
For
2,000
example,
years
let me
ago,
tell you another
hold on,
example.
slow down, brother.
Tell you another example.
Brother. People
All right,
wasn't
cool.
even
Go
writing
on.
2,000 years ago. People wasn't recording history. The first people to record history was colonizers. See, this is what we don't understand about history. Africans did not record history.
That's where you got it
The
wrong, my
African
bro.
scrolls, which is the AKA the Bible, is visions that's gonna happen at an appointed time. The African scrolls was never meant for history. They was not historical writings. When the
There
colonizers
are writings
stole
on
it,
stone, though.
they turned it into
You have
history.
written stuff on stone.
Brother, stone is stuff written on the wall.
still prophecy.
You know, the
No, just
writings on the wall.
Greek and Sabic.
Okay, bro. Like I say, man, you know, the thing about, bro, hearing something new, you can't hold on to the old. If you want something new to go in your cup, you got to pull old information out.
To tell you the truth, this I've heard about this narrative a lot. It's not
What?
really new. There's people who claim
I
that
can't.
here too, but it's very minority.
You say it's very minority. What?
It's they claim that here too, but not a lot of people claim it. It's very small people. But let me give you another example. Before the Solomonic dynasty, there was something called Zagwe. The Zagwis also had their own mythology. Before the Solomonic dynasty, around the 12th century or maybe 11th, before that there was something called Zagwe, the people who built Lalibela. They had their own myth. They said they were descendants of Moses. You know what I mean? This was a pattern with our kings. They claimed a lot of grandiose things so that we can legitimize our,
So I want to ask you this.
Whatever. This is what kings do.
Where is Moses' descendants?
Zagwe, the Ago people, the Zagwe, they used to claim that. They don't anymore. It's a long time ago.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So since you know they're not Moses' descendants, who is Moses' descendants?
Maybe they are. Maybe they are. I'm not saying they're not.
I say so.
But it's not from.
Now.
But it's not the location where Moses was like born or whatever.
Brother, what if you don't know
they're
Moses'
just descendants that came that might.
Listen, if you don't know
yes,
Moses'
they migrated
descendants,
before.
if you don't know Moses'
go on.
descendants, you can't say where they come from.
What you mean? They come from here. They're Cushitic people.
Moses' descendants come from Ethiopia?
No, they claim they came from Moses. Their bloodline comes from Moses. The Zagwis, they used to claim that.
No, brother. Where does Moses come from?
Moses, I think Canaan or maybe somewhere around there.
Israel?
And where's the land of Canaan? If the land of Canaan is Israel, that's what you believe?
Yeah, around that area, Levant or whatever.
So do you know any king from the land of Canaan? Can you show me any historical king from the land of Canaan?
I'm not really versed in their history.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
David,
So basically, that's what I'm saying. David is in the Bible, so you can't use David because there ain't no pictures of David. Can't nobody show you no pictures of David. The only people that can show you pictures of David was the Europeans. I know you're not gonna believe what the Europeans have told you.
yeah, probably lying.
So right now, the Bible talks about David descendants. So if David would have been in the land in the canyon, then they would have had people that proclaimed, just like the Ethiopian kings, they would have been proclaiming they from David. But you don't have that when you go in Israel. You don't have kings in the land of Canaan. You don't have pictures of them. But it's somehow you got pictures of Ethiopian kings. You got stories of the great things they did. But you don't have no stories of David descendants from the land of Israel, or AKA Canaan. So, like, this is the argument. If the kings, which are David descendants, not just David, because the Bible is about David descendant. David don't come back and keep sitting on the throne. David had many children. So his descendants would have been sitting on those thrones. So they would have pictures, they would have grave sites, and they also would have historical facts about what these kings did. They don't have that for the land of Israel, aka the land of Canaan. But it's somehow they have this for the land
you
of
should argue that
Ethiopia.
with them, though. I'm not saying they're legit. They're probably lying too. I don't care about them, though. They're probably lying about a lot of shit.
Okay, well, this is why we tell you the true biblical land is Ethiopia. This
sounds cool, like, but I want to ask you this. Not true.
I want to ask you this. Did lions dwell in Israel?
Look, before that, before even Israel was a thing.
No, that's a question.
The Egyptians called us God's land, man.
Brother, this is a question. Did lions dwell in Israel?
No, probably not. It's the desert.
Okay, the Bible is a desert, right? So people wasn't there either. People was in Ethiopia, where cotton come from, East Africa, where all the vegetation was grown at. Wasn't nobody growing nothing in Israel. The people in the Bible was farmers.
And Christ is called the conquering lion, but you don't got no lions
in Israel. Come on, man. Yeah, the truth makes sense. The lie don't make no sense. Why would a bunch of people be in the desert and they connected to God? They ain't growing no food. They ain't got no cotton. They ain't making no clothes. They just in the desert starving. No, bro. Let's be serious, man.
That still doesn't prove Ethiopia is Israel, though. It just proves they're lying.
It don't prove Israel is the Israel. You haven't brought up any proof of Israel being the true Israel.
But I'm not arguing for that one.
We brought up multiple facts on Ethiopia and how they're connected to David's lineage.
Brother, the title of the Ethiopian kings is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Show me another place where they had a king, go to that BP, and it was titled, what? King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Right, the BP. The rest of them. Show me any king. Right, next one. Show me any king or any country or any place in Israel. Just show me one of them. That's not in the Bible, where you have a King of Kings and Lord of Lords and they holding that title. Just show me, brother.
You're arguing the wrong thing, though, bro. I'm not arguing on their side. I'm just saying Ethiopia is not Israel. That's all I'm saying. I'm not claiming Israel is legit or whatever.
But are you saying that just because of your emotions, or what is your reason of not saying it?
What you mean? I'm telling you historical facts.
Why are you saying that it's not Ethiopia? You have to bring up facts for you to claim that it's not Ethiopia.
I'm telling you, we would have a lot of evidence if it was Israel.
Brother,
there's nothing written that says we are Israel.
Brother, what was the title of King Menelik II? What was his title?
Yeah, they all claimed King of Judah, but that's because they're the Solomonic dynasty.
Okay, Solomonic dynasty. Where does the Solomonic dynasty name come from?
From the myth, Sheba and the Solomon myth.
Who is Solomon? Isn't Solomon in the Bible? Isn't Christ connected
Yeah,
to
that guy.
Solomon?
So what? It's the stories he went there. Like Queen of Sheba went there, and then she gave birth to a king, and he came back to Ethiopia. That's the story.
But
It's
that's the
not that
story.
we were there; they came here.
That's what we telling you,
The
brother. The
Israelis
story.
came here. That's the myth.
That's what they want the Ethiopians believe, so the Ethiopians will never connect to their true history, bro. That's all we telling you. That's not the story. Is a prophecy story. It's not more of it's a myth. It's just a prophecy, brother. That's all we saying at the end of the day.
But we
I don't
appreciate you
agree,
coming
bro.
up. We appreciate you coming up, brother.
Yeah, all right, sure.
And y'all gotta realize, like, we're not worshiping the kings that sat on the throne because we know our forefathers disobeyed God. They didn't do great things in Ethiopia. They didn't do all great things in Ethiopia. You know, some were selling land, some were selling slaves, some were doing some horrible things in Ethiopia, even giving away the Solid Minor gift away to the Europeans.
He left. Oh.
Yeah, he didn't really got anything else to say, so.
It's like people want to, you know, like I say, y'all, we are bringing new information. So trust me, we understand that. And this is why we go back to the law of Moses. In the laws of Moses, no, that's a beauty supply. In the laws of Moses, you know, it was commanded at the time of the supper of God. Now, a lot of people don't know this is the Last Supper, aka the last days. You know, I'm going to Walmart. This is the Last Supper, you know. But at the time when God food is prepared, because the scriptures say God was going to put a table in the midst of your enemies. God was going to prepare a table in the midst of your enemies. These are the days where the table has been prepared. And when this table is prepared, it was instructed that we throw away all the information, aka the bread with yeast. Get it out your houses. Your house is your mind, where you house information. But you were supposed to get rid of that information. And you were supposed to what? Come to the table of God, hungry, starving, thirsty. That's why it's written in the scriptures, all those who are hungry come to me. All those who are thirsty come to me. That's what the scripture says. So this is what we not doing. We holding on to information at the same time trying to eat at God's table. Trying to eat at God's table. You know, so like I say, this is what's really going on, y'all. This is what's going on when it comes to information. So you cannot eat God information if you're not hungry, if you're not starving. You might taste a little bit and be like, I'm full, I don't want no more.
Peace to you, yes.
I have a question. So, what about the people saying that America is the promised land? You guys heard about that?
Yeah, the people in America are deceived, just like the people in Africa are deceived. The whole world is deceived.
Okay, so America is not the real Egypt or anything.
Egypt means bondage. It has a meaning, you know. What African Americans don't realize what they're doing. They're doing the same thing the colonizer did. They stole biblical prophecy and put it on the map. So now they're making up these maps and saying, "Oh, this is where Israel was. Oh, Ohio is where the promised land is." It's just false dogma for people to follow so they don't have to connect to their African roots. You know, that's really what it is. There's a hate for Africa, and that's always been I would say a process to get African Americans to be disconnected to Africa and the throne of David. That's why they always talk about African Americans being connected to West Africa, but they don't want you to know about East Africa. They don't want you to know about the history in Ethiopia.
said something important. You said that Egypt means bondage. Could you kind of clarify that for me?
Like bondage to the mind. Um, you know, a lot of people worship multiple gods. They they
Okay,
worship.
so you're talking about Egypt's culture, like they have a it's the culture of Egypt, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's like a doctrine. It's a way of life that's not of God, basically.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm hearing a bunch of stuff, from Africans and Americans. You have your I'm not sure if you heard of the FBA movement.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, so we have a lot of these people, making a lot of claims, and I just want to get more clarity. Okay,
Well,
that's about it.
there was if you read some of, I forgot his name. He was an African. What was his name?
Who?
Forgot his book. But there's some African leaders that do talk about Ethiopia, and they also talk about how at that time in the 1900s, a lot of European literature was against the connection of African Americans, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I did
Interesting.
make a video about it, but I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now.
So there was. Sorry, I just want to. So there was a European who made a. So he was basically trying to make Africans and Americans go against each other. Is that what you're telling me?
Correct.
Oh, and it's in your
It
videos, you
was
said?
W.E.B. Du Bois. He wrote in one of his books about Ethiopia, and it tells you how they started making fake literature about the disconnection between, Africans and African Americans.
That's actually kind of interesting. Yeah, that's about it. I just want to say thank you, though.
All right, peace to you.
You too.
You know who this is? It's currently connected. No. Okay. It's ended.
I think they heard I was up here when they started leaving. Told you I shouldn't have said that.
I can't really do two things.
But he's going out that way. So like I was saying, y'all, a lot of people don't know how to throw away their information, man. I think the bread with yeast has a lot of significance to what's happening right now. And like I say, because we don't know about these teachings, we don't know God's judgment is upon us, we don't know how to act accordingly. And that's what Moses' instruction was for. Moses was instructing us to receive God at the appointed time. That's why Moses wrote about the appointed feast days. The appointed feast days is the time when God food is in the world. And all Moses' writings is instructions of how to receive that food. And a lot of us think Moses was talking about history and all this. No, Moses was prophesying. Moses was a prophet. Moses was a visionary. God showed Moses a vision. So like I say, we just look at this stuff different. And it really throws a lot of people off, and because they don't follow the law in the correct way. That's why it says the precepts of God is being taught by men. The fear of God is being taught by men. And when it comes, man, that's why you gotta have a spiritual man. Man is just flesh. So a man without the spirit of God is just a man. But a man with the spirit of God is a what? The spirit man, which would be the man of God, the child of God, the woman of God. But without the spirit, we are just flesh and blood. That's why you have to be born again. That's the whole thing of being born again. When you born again, aka your birth, the rebirth is receiving the spirit of God. So But like I said, y'all, we just gotta understand it from a higher level. But I know I ain't really got too much. I gotta call up people anyway.
All right, peace to y'all coming through. Definitely check out the website, yajuju.com. There's a petition, there's a declaration, there's a royal notice against the Roman Catholic Church, against the higher ups. Everything's on the website. We have a declaration in Amharic if you want to give it to some Ethiopians that don't speak English. And we appreciate y'all tuning in. Peace, y'all.